Turning now to stunning testimony in the trial of Lindsay Clancy. She is a Massachusetts woman accused of murdering her 3 young children. Now, Clancy has pleaded not guilty, and the case has turned a spotlight on a rare diagnosis. It's called postpartum psychosis. Her mother took the stand yesterday.
I remember her being very nervous. I remember her saying, "I just have to tell you guys something." And then she told us.
What did she tell you?
She told us that she had thoughts of harming the children.
Boy, CBS News legal contributor Caroline Polisi joins us now with the latest on the case. This is such a heinous story, and when you first hear it, you just think she needs to be underneath the jail. And the more you hear about this case, I never heard of this postpartum psychosis. I'm trying to learn more about it. What is the strategy of having her mother take the stand?
Yeah, Kevin Reddington, who is Lindsay's really exceptional defense attorney, has been from the start, even in the prosecution's case, trying to humanize his client. You'll notice the prosecution refers to her as the defendant. He calls her Lindsay. So this is part and parcel of this strategy of trying to show the whole person, right? This was a loving mother, he's telling the jury, who really descended into the darkest depths of a mental health crisis. He also put on the stand yesterday a labor and delivery nurse that worked with Lindsay and gave a really heartfelt anecdote about the first time Lindsay heard about the Andrea Yates case. She cried, saying, how could a mother do that to her children? Yeah. So again, part of humanizing her is the strategy.
What do you think, though, the testimony of her mother may do? Because I have also seen a lot of legal analysts say the fact that her mother, the person that would have known her the most probably in this world, didn't escalate this further.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people didn't escalate this further.
She seemed to have been crying out for help, too, Caroline, along the way.
I mean, she checked herself
always asking, yes.
She checked herself into a mental hospital. She called a suicide hotline. A lot of ways this is being seen as a referendum on the healthcare system in general, because there were so many red flags. But,
failures.
And failures, yeah.
In the wake of those red flags.
And Kelly, what's interesting, you raised this issue of the evidence. This is not a whodunit. This is in many ways a Rorschach test for the jurors. It's like an ink blot saying, what do you see? They're using the same evidence. The defense and the prosecutors are using the same evidence. Like you noticed in that testimony from her mother, she was crying out for help. The defense is using it to say this was a woman in crisis. The prosecution is using it to say it wasn't that bad.
So, Caroline, a lot of this case seems to hinge on whether or not she was experiencing what Gayle pointed to, postpartum psychosis at the time of the incident. So what's the legal test for that?
Yeah, so the medical definition of psychosis and the legal strategy or the legal defense of not criminally responsible by reason of insanity, they are different and distinct tests. However, if the defense can show or at least raise a reasonable doubt that perhaps she was in the throes of postpartum psychosis, that would technically meet the legal definition, because the definition is, were you able to distinguish right from wrong, or were you able to conform your conduct to the law? And so a psychotic break would indicate, I mean, the argument is that she was experiencing auditory hallucinations, right? Command hallucinations to kill her children and then kill herself. So if they can show that or raise a doubt, that's what it will take for a finding of not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect.
It's just an incredibly sad story.
All the way around.
It's always appreciate having your legal expertise, Caroline.
Thank you.